Hello and welcome, I am TW1 and this is What Would I Do, a FM series aimed at beginners where we go through certain aspects of the game and we're going to guide you through every single one step by step. If you are a new player, this is perfect for you. If you are an FM vet, stick around, watch the video and then leave your advice in the comment section below. It's always good to have more than one perspective. In this first episode, we are going to be picking our first team, we are going to be setting up our database, and then we are going to be assigning our manager's attributes. So let's jump straight into it then. On this screen, we are going to select Start New Game and then Career. We will be covering online career and create a club in the future, so don't worry about that. From there, the game is going to pull up this screen where you can select your team. Depending on what team you picked as your favourite club, in the manager's profile, depends on what league is going to show up here. So if you pick Barcelona, for example, La Liga would show up, Juventus, Serie A would show up. But in this case, I selected Manchester United, my favourite club. So Manchester United and the Premier League have popped up. In the top left-hand corner, you will see this drop-down menu. From here, you can change from Club Manager to International Manager, Club and International Manager, or you can start unemployed. My advice is for you to stick with Club Manager. Just below them is two drop-down menus. One of them allows you to change the nation that you're in. The other one allows you to change what division you are going to be in within that nation. Also, over on the right-hand side, you have a search bar. So if you know what team you want to be, and you can just type in that team and it will pop up. That is what I have just done here, and I've selected Bolton. If you are brand new to FM, pick a team that you know is my advice. Pick a team that either you know and have an affinity to yourself, or ask a family member or a friend about a team that they like. Having an idea about the club's history, tradition and philosophies are going to allow you to get a little bit more attached to the club. It's really going to help your immersion, and also it's going to give you a little bit of an idea of what to expect when you get to the boardroom with that team. For example, if I pick Manchester United, I would expect for them to say, I want you to promote players from within the youth, buy world-class players to improve merch sales, and play attacking, exciting football to excite the fans. But on the other hand, if I picked a team such as Bolton, I would expect them to say, sell players at a profit, grow the club's reputation, and win at any cost. They're going to have less than impetus and the style of play that we're going to have. Just get promoted, get promoted, get promoted. Then in the future, they may ask you to refine a certain style of play. Once you have picked your team, down in the right hand corner is Advanced Setup. Hit that. Right, lots and lots of scary information here, but do not worry. Firstly, active nations and leagues means what nations and leagues will be loaded into your database. You can change how many divisions in each nation structure you want to load in this drop down menu on each nation. Mode changes how the nations leagues will work within your database. If in the future you want to go and manage in a different country, say you start in England, then you want to go manage in Spain, make sure that La Liga is loaded and is playable. If you don't, you can change it to view only. View only will affect the simulation slightly and will reduce the amount of youth players that the league will produce every single time there is a new gen youth intake, but it's hardly noticeable. For example, if you had Brazil as view only, the next Neymar like Wonderkid will still be generated, he still will be created into the game, he just can be a little bit harder to find. Now in the bottom right-ish hand corner is going to be a button called Add/Remove Leagues. Click that and then click every single box you can see. That is right, click every single nation because you want all of them in your game. Once you have done that, press confirm. And then in the top right hand corner, you're going to see a drop down menu that says database. You want to make sure that that is large. Now, depending on how much processing power your PC, laptop, Mac or Xbox has, depends on how many leagues you'll be able to keep as playable. If your device hasn't got too much processing power, you're going to need to change all of these leagues, apart from about 5, to view only. If your device has a lot of processing power, you'll be able to keep as many leagues as you want. On the right hand side, you're going to see stars. Stars will indicate how much processing power your PC has and how well it's going to handle the current database that you have built. I aim for 3.5 stars personally because I'm happy with them loading times. But if you don't like loading times and you really want the game to be quick, you're going to have to go for 4.5 stars minimum. That is going to reduce the database quite a bit though. Well, what would I do? Well, I load up the big 5 European leagues as playable. That would be England, France, Germany, Italy and Spain. And then from there I pick and choose a couple of other countries just to fluff it out a little bit. For a full breakdown on how the database works and to have a fully tested database as well, go down to watch Zealand's video. He talks about it all. He grades how the databases are doing versus each other, and it is an excellent video to watch. Now, you may have noticed the advanced options down at the bottom of the screen. In my opinion, you should leave all of them unticked. The only two that you may consider ticking is 1, disable transfer activity in the first window. That is going to mean that you and the computer cannot make any transfers during the first summer window. That is going to make the game a lot more realistic, so you're going to be playing with the same squad as the real life squad at the moment. It's also going to make it ever so slightly harder as well, because you might spot a gap in the squad that you would like to fill, and then you can't because there is no transfer window. The second one is disable attribute masking. This is all about scouting. If you don't like scouting, you just want to be able to click on a player and see all of their stats instantly, you are going to want to tick this box. I do not recommend it though, because it's going to take a lot of the fun out of the game. Finding a hidden gem that you've scouted for months upon months and finally plucked him out of some small club out of Serbia just for him to grow up to be a wonder kid for you to sell on to Real Madrid for 100 million. It's beautiful when you do the hard work yourself. If you just see the stats and go, oh, he's going to be good, it takes some of the fun out of it personally. Now you are ready to click start game. This will load the database and this will take a long time. So this is a good opportunity to go make a cup of tea or a coffee, or even grab a snack. Now that is finished, you will be presented with your manager. From here, I like to click edit profile and then click through to appearance. Then I like to make sure that my manager matches my team with the team colours. So I'm going to make my guy into a shirt. I'm going to make sure he has a white shirt, a black suit, black trousers, and then a red tie, just so he matches Bolton. It doesn't really affect the game at all. It's just an immersion thing for me. I really like it when the manager matches the team. Then we are going to click through to the next screen and you are going to be bombarded with a lot more information. Don't worry, we're going to go through this from top to bottom, so hold with me. Coaching badges and past experience are the difficulty of your save. No qualifications and Sunday League experience being the hardest, Continental Pro and International Global level experience being the easiest, but these are all relative to your club. By clicking these two boxes below the drop down menu, the game will auto assign you with the badges and experience that the game thinks you should have to manage the club that you have selected. If you for whatever reason want to pick badges that are worse than your club, you're going to find a hard time getting the players on board and getting the board to approve things for you. The other thing is the media might slate you a little bit more as well. If you on the other hand have higher experiences, you're going to have an easier time with the players, you're going to have an easier time with the board, but you may have offers from other clubs trying to poach you from the club, and the board might get scared about that and then not want to renew your contract in fear that you're going to leave. Badges also give you attribute points in both columns, coaching and mental. You can pick a managerial style from the drop down menu and that will also assign your points to your manager. I personally don't like doing that myself because I think it's wasting points when you do that. You should always select them yourself. Just under that is a slider. I like to throw that all the way to the right, because coaching attributes are the easiest to cover because you can hire staff and coaches to fill in those gaps a lot easier. The mental attributes are a little bit harder to find in some of your members of staff. Because of this, in the coaching column, I like to focus on 4 to 5 things with all of my points and leave the rest of them at 1, because the coaches that you hire should fill in these gaps very, very easily. Unless you are starting at the bottom of the bottom, where you have maybe 1 to 2 members of staff, then you should spread them evenly. But in this case, being at Bolton, I'm going to make sure that all of them have 1 point apart from 4 to 5 attributes. The 4 that I picked out for this one are tactical, mental, technical and working with youngsters. For my mental attributes, I like to keep adaptability as a 1 because I know that I'm going to be doing a 1 club save. If you want to do multiple clubs in multiple countries, you're going to want to invest a few points here because it allows you to learn the language a little bit quicker and connect with the players in a different country. Determination is important the lower down the football league you go, because it affects how likely a suggestion to the board will get approved. If you're at a club like Manchester United, you have no upgrades to make. You don't need to be forcing anything through the board, so you don't really need too much determination. But if you are a lower league side with lots of improvements to make, you're going to be hounding the board all of the time and you want those improvements to go through without too much of a squabble. Player knowledge and youngster knowledge can be covered by your scouting team. But if you pick a lower league side, you might not have that much of a scouting team, so you may want to invest some points here. If you're at a club championship or above, I'd leave these as a 1. You're not going to need any of these points filled in because your scouting and analysis team should cover this perfectly. Man management then affects your training and how well you do one-on-one interactions with your players. No matter the level, invest points here. You can get a good assistant manager to cover this for you, but it's not worth the risk. Level of discipline. Now, this is one for you to micromanage yourself. You can either go low and you'd have to butt kiss all of your players and make sure they're happy all of the time, or you can go high and then those little niggling issues are not going to be brought to your door as often, and every time there is one, by that point hopefully you have control of the dressing room and hopefully you can just pass a lot of that over to your captain, and your captain can just tell the youngsters who want a little bit more playing time to shut up and get on with their day. And then we have the big one. We have motivation. And again, no matter the level, invest as many points as you can here, because you want to be firing up the players in team meetings, team talks and sideline shouts. That is a massive part of this game. It's going to be hugely important for you to have a lot of motivation here. Again, you can get assistant managers who have higher motivation to do this for you, but sometimes they have a bad team talk and it looks bad on you as a manager. So you've assigned your points and then you are good to go. Your save will now start, and this is where I shall leave you. I'll catch you in the next episode. We're going to be talking about meeting the board, meeting the players, meeting the media, tactics, scouting, trading and a lot more. A lot goes down on the day one of your save, so stick around to see that. Until then, hit like, hit subscribe, and as always, peace out.